that was a turning point for me because, like I said, the very thing that had put me in like a horrible space was now, with my personal life, helping me massively. And because I invested so much time and energy in that weekend, I was like, well, no one can take this away from me. I've put the work in here. I've got the result out of it. And I was just like, oh, this is why I do it. Like, I loved it so much. And I think that's when I kind of got the bug again. I was like, boys suck, but bikes don't.
On today's episode, we have the one and only Tahnée Seagrave.
Round of applause, wonderful.
That's that anticlimax.
Well, I haven't seen this new intro.
No, the new.
I like the idea of it, but I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, I know. So yeah, it's new. So it's like, anyway, I'm going to show you a picture, and it's basically just a lift-off point.
This needs to be closer. Yours is close.
Yeah, you can go. Yeah.
There we go.
So that's nice.
Perfect.
So basically, I'm going to show you a photo, and we're going to talk about what this photo means, and it's just a lift-off point, because otherwise, where do we start this thing? There's so much to talk about. We've not had you on the podcast since 2022.
It's not going to be is it?
She's back.
Oh, God.
That's not the starting point, unless it's in the picture. I don't know.
No, it's not. Anyway,
It's just the picture.
Here's the picture. There's the picture.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
That's
it's
a nice one.
You're expecting something awful. You're just like, whoa. There's the picture, Ollie.
Okay.
All right, so I'm sure you're aware what that picture is. So what is that picture, and why did you post it? And let's talk about that as a lift-off point.
Well, I thought I looked nice in the picture. That's why I posted it.
Revealed. There we have it.
That was Mont Saint Anne 2023, I think.
I believe so.
Yeah, me and Phoebe in the lift together on our way up for probably first laps.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, I take a lot of selfies in the lift. That's it. There's nothing more to it. It wasn't like a really nice moment, or.
Right. I think I've missed the bit here. So what I was kind of aiming towards is the reason you posted it is because it was the end of 2023.
Okay.
And you put in your caption where to start. 2023 was my first injury-free season since 2018.
Oh yeah, it was.
That's a good way to start, I think.
Yeah.
Because we did 2022. We're in 2023.
Okay, show it again. I'll start again.
The same picture.
Oh.
Cool intro, guys.
All right, we're ditching that segment. No, it was more.
I like the idea, man. I like it.
I like that Tahnේe's just like, yeah, it's just being a lift, dude. Without any context.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's just being a lift.
I think there's more photos.
I look nice, so that's why I posted it.
There's more photos in there, no?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, there is. There's a whole carousel. Yeah. So I could have shown you the rest of it, but
I'd just finished my first injury-free season since 2018.
Yeah. Okay.
That is actually wild, isn't it? When you think about 5 years of being injured, on and off.
Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't. They just kept coming as well, because until then, I actually hadn't been injured my entire career. I had like sprains here and there, but I thought I was just like a god, because I just never got injured. So like you do feel a bit unbeatable, and like and then I got just one after the other. It was crazy.
What was the first one?
Tore my AC joint in Fort William just after I'd got the number 1 plate for the first time in my career.
Yeah.
Against like Rachel, which obviously I'd spent my entire career trying to beat Rachel. Did like 4 turns and then bam, just gone. Damn it.
Yeah.
Do you think it was like, did it start at, you see people get injured and then they get injured more and more. Do you think it was all linked, or was it just a bit bad luck and good luck before?
I think the first one was always kind of going to come. Like, I think you kind of like, you wait for it. And then the recovery was smooth, easy, came back, got a world champs medal. It was like kind of just over and done with super quick. And it felt normal. I was like, I've finally been that athlete that's had an injury, come back, had a good result. And then the next one was just a freak accident. I like dislocated my ankle and broke my leg at some dirt jumps because I put my foot out Like I didn't actually crash, I just put my foot out. So, and then I think the ones after that is what, like, it just was like, because I was tired, I was like burnt out, I was trying to come back so quickly from my injuries, I was pushing real hard. I left, like when I did my shoulder, I was winning quite a lot, so that's where I always wanted to get back to, and I think it just mentally destroyed me, and I was just, exhausted.
Yeah.
It's quite crazy that you do a sport for a job where, like, you're literally, I know every sport is kind of to an extent, but where you're literally waiting for an injury. Like, it's like what you said, like waiting to be someone who is an athlete that comes back.
Well, it's like, and everyone has like a dream scenario of like having, it's weird, like you're like, oh, you get injured and you want to come back and you want to win, like that's the ultimate comeback story.
The Rocky.
Yeah, and I just feel like everyone must think that, especially at the top of the sport, especially when you go out having been at the top. But I realise now it's kind of unrealistic. It's like nice to aim for that, but I haven't had that fairy tale story, whereas like a lot of athletes have, and I think that's what you hold on to, and that's what gets you through the injury. So no harm done there, I guess. But when you keep having injuries and you keep falling short, it's kind of like, oh. Yeah.
You sort of want an ideal situation, don't you? You don't really want to not get injured, because then there's an elephant in the room, and then you've got like
you are
like
an
undefeated record.
What now?
You just want like little finger injuries. Or like, that's crazy. Did anything change in the 23 season that you think actually brought you to not be injured?
Well, when I came back, so the biggest injury was obviously for me was the concussion. Been over that. It was a gnarly experience. It wasn't just like break a bone, here's your date that you're going to get back, try and get back before it. It was just so much unknown and uncertainty, and it was really scary. I had like depression, anxiety, like vertigo all the time. It was just post-concussion syndrome, so it went on for like 8 months, and it was just like the worst. But when I got over most of my symptoms, I didn't really want to ride again. I was quite okay with how my career had gone so far, and I just had to accept that I was like, that might be it for me. So when I came back for 2023, it was more because that's all I'd ever done. It was just so natural for me, and I was luckily in a good position where my team and my sponsors were like, yeah, give it a crack, see how you feel. But I'd already told everyone that might be it. So when the first race came around in 2023, which was Lenzerheide, where Rachel had the most insane comeback, that's like a beautiful story. But there, my story was a little bit different, because I was like, I'm quite okay. I might get to the start gate and just be like, nah. Yeah. So like it was one run at a time. It was really like, okay, not even. It was like, I'm gonna put my kit on today. Oh yeah, I still feel okay. Let's like put the helmet on. Let's like go up the lift. And I was like, I'll do a bit of a warm up. I still don't want to run away. And then I like got into the start gate, did the first section. I'd stop. I'd be like, this is okay still. And it was just like that over and over. And then I got to qualifying run, and I was like, yeah, I think I'm going to do it. But I fully expected to just get there and like be like, no. But I think...
Would you have pushed through that if you...
No.
You wouldn't? You'd have just listened to... What is it you're listening to?
Well...
That's a silly question, but like, is it like a feeling? Is it your head? Like, where
it's actually hard, because I guess I was pushing through. Like, I guess because I was like petrified the entire time I was there. But I think it was in such small increments that I was like trying to progress, that it didn't feel massive by the time I got there, I guess. But I think if the feeling was just unbearable, because I guess I was expecting an overwhelming feeling, because my symptoms were when I was going through the concussion. So I think I was expecting something like that to come over me and not be able to control it, because that's what happened. Yeah. But it didn't, so I was really grateful. I remember getting like to the last corner before the drop, before the finish line in my quali run, and but I could barely see the drop. I was crying that much. I was just like, I've made it. And I like got down, saw my dad, and I just burst into tears. And I think Max Commensal was there, and he didn't have a dry eye either. And it was just like, I was like, I did it. And I didn't care where I'd got. Like, I actually didn't, for the first time in my career, I just didn't even care. So the fact that I qualified as well, I was just like, this is amazing. But Yeah, crazy.
And then
crazy.
that just what carried on throughout the season, and the results were coming in. And
yeah, well,
or was there a moment when you're like, not I'm back? Because I think that was more of a 2024 feeling.
It was more of a. It took forever, but I think I just gained momentum. I was enjoying it. I crashed a lot as well, which helped. I had some big crashes because I guess I wasn't used to. It was like being a junior again, almost. Like I had to like relearn to race, how to control my feelings, because they were strong. Like they were really strong and prominent and there. Lots of like big decisions to make. Didn't qualify in Leergang because I crashed. And then,
yeah, I was protected then.
No,
okay.
I wasn't protected.
Yeah.
As like a journey, do you think working through it was through yourself? Like, did you work out what was going on, or how you could make yourself feel better, or was it literally just like approaching it openly?
I think my biggest approach was like here and now. Like all that matters is right here and right now. So, because if I thought about the past, the future, anything, it just gave me anxiety. So I think the biggest thing for me was trying to be healthy mentally. So I don't know, making decisions that would help to that, not my career. It wasn't, I wasn't making decisions to try and win, to try and like, I don't know, I was just trying to feel comfortable again with riding bikes and maybe seeing if that's what I wanted to do for the rest of my career. Like, it was really a feel-out season. And then the turning point was, so I went through a horrible breakup in 2023, leading up to Andorra, like the worst. It sucked massively. And got to Andorra, and I was like, I'd been a bit blindsided, didn't know what was going on, and I was so heartbroken that I was like, I felt a bit sorry for myself. It sounds so, but I was just like, after everything I've been through, I was like, really now? Like, I was just starting to like gain some momentum. But looking back, I was so like heartbroken that every time I grabbed my bike to ride, there was no noise anymore. So I would like, I don't know, I tried really hard to be upbeat for the team. Obviously, I didn't want to bring the team down or anything, but being around them, it made me so grateful that I was surrounded by really good people. Every time I got on my bike, I was so focused and all my energy went into that like I ended up loving it again. I don't know, I found like the thing that had put me in this horrible state a year ago was now the thing that was saving me in a way that was just like the realization was crazy. It was just, I was so grateful for bikes. And then I got a third place, my first podium in the year. Yeah. And I was just like...
Was that Andorra?
Yeah.
Wow.
And I was just like... And I think that was a turning point for me because, like I said, the very thing that had put me in like a horrible space was now, with my personal life, helping me massively. And because I invested so much time and energy in that weekend, I was like, well, no one can take this away from me. I've put the work in here. I've got the result out of it. And I was just like, oh, this is why I do it. Like, I loved it so much. And I think that's when I kind of got the bug again. I was like, boys suck, but bikes don't.
It's good merch.
Yeah.
I find that a lot of it is so crazy because it's like, from the outside, first of all, you would never guess that, when you see any of you at the top of the sport, you would never guess that these are the things that are going through your mind, first of all.
Yeah.
And then the other thing that is cool that you talk about it is that I think a lot of people find bike riding is like personally for me, if something's crap, you just
go for a
bike
bike
ride. Cold shower. It's just like,
for sure.
Stop thinking about it. Just go and rattle down a hill or whatever. It's crazy that you're doing it at World Cups, but
but I think that's all I've ever known. But that's why it's hard sometimes, because we live and breathe it. It's hard to remember why you do it. And I know that's so cliche, but when I've had 5 years of injury and then like all that stuff, but it took like a really low point in my personal life for me to realize that my mind was empty. Like, it's especially when you're like trying to go as fast as possible down the hill, you don't have time to think about all that stuff.
No.
But like you said, I think it's hard for people as well to know that like the people at the top of the sport are also going through normal life things, like, but because we invest so much time and energy, and it is our savior in a way. It's our time to well, you can't think about, you don't have time to think about anything else.
It's funny because it's so relatable, but then also so unrelatable because of the level you're doing at. But like you said,
but it's
so
the
many
same
people
thing.
will relate
Yeah.
to like, oh, I'm having a shit time and going for a bike ride. But yeah, you're just doing
I guess mine just
different...
is, the bike ride doesn't just cut it anymore. It has to be
Yeah.
World Cup racing
race.
or hardline. I'm like, Zen, peace and quiet.
That's
I'm so
insane.
petrified about the jump that's in front of me that I can't think about anything else.
Yeah. So from that point, would you say you like fell back in love with it?
Yeah, just from that point, I think it was just all go. Like, at the way it made me feel was like, this is my thing. Like, this is, I don't know. And I was like, and it loves me. I was just like, so it was really like a change in the way I saw biking, I guess, again. And I think you could see it in my riding in that second part of that season. I started to give it more.
Yeah.
I crashed
Forcing
loads.
Snowshoe, didn't you?
Yeah, snowshoes the devil as well. I'm sorry, that track is just
Really, yeah.
out to get you. So I was so happy with that. Yeah.
And I bet like just being in a better frame of mind for like a track that you actually don't like is probably super valuable, isn't it?
Yeah. No, I felt really good after, like I said, just every day on my bike was like a gift at that point. So I was just like, this is the best. And it really, really changed a lot for me. Which was amazing. Like, you can imagine the feeling from going like, I'm not sure I want to ever do this again. I don't know if this is my career, to bikes are the best. And I'd lost that a long time ago. So the fact that it had finally come back was really nice. But I didn't force it either. Like, if I didn't fancy riding, I wouldn't, like on a day or even like for weeks, I wouldn't put any pressure on myself to do it. I'd just be like, yeah, that's fine. Like, because I think the moment I started to force it, and that's why I was telling Chris Kilmurray, my trainer, anyway, I was like, I can't train today, you're going to push me over the edge, fall out of love with it again.
Not sure I like it today.
It's like,
Like
-2 outside.
Oh, it sprints today.
No, you're laughing, but
feeling it, dude.
I haven't done sprint. I've just started training again recently, and I'm so unfit because I've not trained in so long, and I was like, I love biking. I just didn't train. So it's been a bit of a slap in the face getting back to training, but I do want to win again, so I feel like I kind of have to.
It's got. Do you think, given the option to never go through falling out of love of the sport, or going through it and coming out the other end, do you think you end up stronger? Because I imagine it's a very common thing that a lot of professional athletes go through.
I think it's like common because we don't really ever like have time off to like reflect, and like we were saying earlier, you get injured, you try and come back as fast as possible. You don't get pressured from sponsors, but it's just something that you know you've got to do. Like, it's an unwritten rule that you have to just try and get back as quickly as possible. The messages I receive from youngsters being like, how did you do it? How fast can I get back? It's like kind of a bit sad sometimes, because I guess that's like what motivates you. But yeah, it's just, I don't think you're ever given the time to like miss it, you know?
And I guess it probably depends on where you're at in your career.
You're not allowed sometimes.
Yeah, and also if you're trying to get to where you've been,
Yeah.
you're going to not give yourself that time, that permission.
For
Because
sure.
you're hustling, aren't you, to get there. But
Well, I've
yeah.
always said, like, throughout my whole concussion stuff, I was just like, I'm in such an amazing position, and I wouldn't take it for granted. Like, everyone stood by me. But then I created an environment where I could do that, I guess.
Yeah.
But it's not easy for, I would just say, like, for juniors that go through the same thing and they've picked up like a 2-year deal and they get a year of injury and then they've got a year to prove themselves. It's like
you can see why they're
super
a bit
tough.
YOLO.
Yeah.
For sure, yeah. So 2023 off season, what did that look like? You kind of like in a better place, like what's going on?
Like I said to you guys earlier, when I got here, I was like, I promised myself that I'd go somewhere sunny once a month just to like top up the, I don't know, just, I felt like I was just happier in the sun. I feel like everyone feels the same, and I was able to do that. So yeah, And that's the only time I'd actually ride downhill, was when I would like go away and spend time and focus on that time. And then at home I'd just like ride e-bikes and I'd like get strong in the gym. And it worked really well for me, but I didn't really, like, I enjoyed gym work, but I didn't do any intervals, I didn't do any long rides. I think we went to Lanzarote, I know that was the year before. So yeah, no road rides, nothing.
Really, yeah.
Well, I just wanted to keep the healthy mind, the happy,
keep it fun,
healthy, yeah. But after this past season, and I think the mindset was I did all right in 2023. So if I just like ride a bit more and, you know, get strong, I'll be all right in 2024. And I felt really confident going into last year, because when you're happy and you're doing things that just feed your confidence, I felt a little bit delulu at times, because I was like, I'd like practice this like self-talk that was like, apparently, you know, I feel like you start to believe stuff that you tell yourself every day. So I'd be in the shower like, you're gonna win, like you're so amazing, woo! Like, and I was just like, sometimes I'd be like, this is crazy, but it does end up working. Like positive self-talk is like so powerful. And Phoebe was like, what's wrong with you? Like, you're so happy all the time. She's like, it's raining, the track's shit, the bikes aren't working.
Boys suck.
Yeah, why are you so happy? But I would wake up and be like, today's going to be a great day. And I know those people are so annoying, but honestly, it works. It faded off eventually because it gets tiring, but no, I've got to start doing that again. It works.
Yeah, for sure. 100%.
I think it works in every single little thing that you do as well.
It does.
It carries through.
100%, and it like it radiates. Like other people are drawn to you more if you're like.
I feel like you're one of those people actually.
But it's hard to keep up.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
To me, it feels forced. So eventually, it kind of like, oh my god, I can't do this anymore. But I would love to be someone that just wakes up and radiates like positivity.
Yeah.
But I'm not.
Sometimes it's tough, isn't it? Yeah. That's funny.
But it shows you that it's like works in like every micro instance. So you've got like I always think you've got like an option to be like hyped or not hyped.
Yeah, for sure.
Everything.
When you have that realization, it's weird.
Yeah.
It's weird, but it's also like, it's really empowering, because you're like, oh, I control the situation, it's fine.
Yeah.
Well, I control how I feel about the situation.
Definitely.
Because I got to say, I lose it as well. Like, you can be like, oh, sick, it's raining, all the turns will be fucking wild. Or you can be like, oh, it's raining. You know, like, I've been a lot lately. Oh, raining again, ice rain, cool, man.
Yeah.
And like really, the likelihood of you going out and having a fun time if you get hyped on the turns being slippery, it's quite high.
Yeah, well, I started to think like, if I give myself, because I work better with like, obviously, most of my mates have normal jobs, so I can't go out in the week. I'm like by myself. I'm like, oh, great, thanks, guys. Like, thanks, leave me by myself.
Having a job.
Yeah, but no. So when I go out, I give myself little like goals. I'm like, oh, maybe I'll do this run, no pedal strokes. So I've got to make sure I pump everywhere as like good as I can, and that's what gives me like that brings me joy when I'm like working for something.
Towards something.
Yeah. When you're with a bunch of mates, it's just so easy to have fun, like rip a few turns and do the same thing over and over. But yeah, when you're by yourself, it starts to get a little bit like you're just out to be out.
Yeah.
When you're training and obviously you're doing it most of the time. So yeah, little like goals and stuff. I found like just little games by myself work really well.
It's like when you're super young, it's all like it's kind of disguised. The games are disguised by friendship, aren't they? Because I remember, like, I thought it was normal that everyone had like a giant group of friends that all like were rats and rode dirt jumps, rode all the time, desperate to go out riding every single day. And then we would have friends come over, like, I'm trying to think of an example, like teammates of Bren's would come over and they'd just be like, what is going on? How are there this many people?
Yeah.
Sam Hill was like come from living in.
Sam Hill's actually a really good example. I just didn't want to do too much name
drop. Sorry. I do.
You know Sam Hill, do you?
He came over here and I
have a Sam Hill jersey like, actually, so point to me.
But he did come over and he was like, what is going on? How could this is every day, is it? Is this honestly every day? Obviously you're giving him a good show when someone comes from halfway around the world. But
Yeah, I do this every day, actually.
Yeah. But I think when you're older, you're right, you have to change it a bit, don't you?
Yeah, but I think it's easier in the UK because the weather does suck. So to get that motivation, you've got to have a good group of people that are willing to go and just get out there.
Get out there, yeah.
And I think it is more of a UK thing to have like just a group of people that go out and ride together. I don't know, maybe it's more like the culture, you know?
Do you think it makes you good at like being able to switch it on when it matters? So for instance, on a rainy day at a World Cup weekend, sometimes you can't be really bothered to go out on a rainy day, but you just sort of make yourself do it because you live in the UK and because you're used to rubbish weather, or making yourself like do it. Is it helpful in racing?
I don't really make myself do it anymore, if I'm honest. If it's cold and windy, I'm just like, not today. So that's
a race only situation.
Yeah. But I have done it enough now that like...
Yeah, you've done the time.
I enjoy riding in the rain. And I think it's easier at World Cups because you get to like...
Free uplift.
Sounds so bad.
And a mechanic.
Wait a minute.
It's like clean kit, dry gloves.
It is though. Like you've got like 10 kits lined up. You know you're about to go and get super muddy. Your only worry is getting down the track without crashing, really. Like Ludonville last year was so fun, and Poland as well when it rained. It was the best, like smiles everywhere in the pits. You're caked in mud. But yeah, you just like, oh, I've got another fresh set of pants there. Take them, a bit wet that run, I'll take these, oh, another set of gloves. Pile like this in the pits of everyone's kit. But then it's kind of like, yeah, at the end of the day, you go, Owen. Thank you.
I'm with you. You know what? Also, it's about to get better because this is the first year, am I right, that FMD is a factory race team?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Yeah. It's going to get even better.
Yeah. People will just undress me.
Yeah.
There we go. Dress me and undress me. No, we do clean our own kit, by the way. Sorry.
You do?
I just wanted to... I felt like that was unsure.
Just get that in there real quick.
Quick, before the
break. Quick ad break.
Yeah, let's go to ad break.
This episode is brought to you by Invisiframe. Now, I've just finished up building my new bike, and the very first thing I did was get my Invisiframe PPF ordered and fitted. In fact, I was terrified to even touch my jet ski custom Focus without it, I'll be honest. Now it's done, I'm happy hurtling down the rockiest of tracks without a care in the world, as I know my pride and joy is protected. The cool thing about Invisiframe is you can't tell. The kits are made to measure and you can't see it even has one on. In the meantime, it's protecting my two-wheeled investment, and I have the peace of mind that it will be worth more should I ever come to sell it. I mean, I don't think I will, but yeah. How do I get a kit, I hear you ask? Well, I simply visited invisiframe.co.uk and searched for my bike and model. I had a kit shipped to my door days later. Not only that, I have a secret code which gave me a 15% discount. And I'm willing to share it with companionship members because I'm a really, really nice guy. Enter The Ride Companion, all lowercase, at checkout and receive, that's right, 15% off your order. And that goes for more than just frame protection too. Invisiframe make PPF for forks, cranks and loads of other great products to keep your bike looking great. Head to invisiframe.co.uk and The Ride Companion for 15% off your order. Thanks, Invisiframe. Back to the show.
We're back. What an ad break.
Unbelievable ad break, to be honest. I just think there was a natural thing here when we just talked about 2023.
Okay, 2023, yeah.
Okay, and then we're going to talk 2024.
Okay.
I feel like, if that's okay.
Yeah.
You're just the voice in the... No, I'm not doing it. 2024. There's an interesting topic I want to definitely talk about. 2024. Fort William. Speedsuit.
Oh, yeah, I like this.
So...
Like a controversial topic.
Yeah, 100 Speedsuit. So when did that conversation first come up? Because we spoke about it on here. It was in Moto first.
Yeah, I remember watching all the bits, getting the popcorn out for the comments.
Yeah, Christian Craig. But so at that point, did you already... were you already working on it?
I already had one at that point.
You already had one?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just want to clear up something.
Please.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that thought it was for aesthetics, and I'm not sure if it's people that are like outside the sport because the video went viral. But yeah, I got presented this speed suit in the off season of 23 going into 24.
Yeah.
I had no idea it was going to even be a thing. Like skin suits to me were long gone, and you know, I have a brother that's in free ride, and I wasn't sure how he would react when I was about to go into a skin suit. So yeah, just so far away from anything I thought. And we went to the offices, the Fox offices, in like December, and they were like, "Oh, we have a surprise for you," and they brought out this little tiny like.
Really? Yeah.
Oh, you got me a doll.
No, it wasn't that small, but it's, I can't fit into that. But it did look like I wouldn't fit into it. But I was like, oh, like, what is it? And they were like, a speed suit. Jackson's already tested in it. He loves it. You should try it on. And I kid you not, the moment I put it on, I felt like a ninja. I was just like speed, like I was running around. I was like running around the offices. Like I had to try and do like the only concern was what everyone else's concern was like, how am I going to wee? I have the tiniest bladder.
Okay, right.
I was just like, well, so many people like before, because the men have a little zip and pocket, and I don't know, but obviously for me, I'm not going to rep a shiwi, so I was just like, don't really know how this is going to go. So they would be good though. A shiwi would be.
Yeah. Built into a speed suit.
But anyway,
might catch the air.
Sam's got one. Sam's got one in his bike.
It's not air.
Yeah.
it would be convenient for someone like me that weighs a lot. But anyway, so I was like, oh, we need to put the timer on and see how long it takes me to go for a week, because you have to like. It was like hard.
You're timing your wheeze
Ready?
now.
I had to, because
Really?
I will get. Before my start, it's a real problem. It's the biggest anxiety problem of the weekend. Is like, am I going to be able to wee before my
weekend?
Nice one.
Sorry.
How am I going to be able to fit this in before my start? So yeah, I had to time it. I had to know. So I can't remember what was. I think it was like a minute and something. So I was like, yeah, that gives us a bit of leeway.
Yeah.
So that's a speed suit wee is a minute. Is that what you're saying?
Pretty much getting like they do stretch over time. So, but usually for my race run, I'll put a brand new one on. It's just changed. It's changed everything. Like at first, I didn't even think. Oh, I think what we thought with that speed suit was this is going to kick off.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
What do you mean kick off?
Yeah.
Just it went exactly the way we thought it was going to go. The way it all kicked off.
I mean, minus towing the line on the rules, or like.
Yeah. Minus like all the weird comments about me sexualizing the sport. I didn't expect that, but it was more about we just knew that there was a rule that you had to have a two-piece. We knew that people would complain because it's something they didn't have, or it's just new. And we were really excited to bring it out, like really excited, because we knew it would make noise, and it was great marketing for someone like Fox, and it worked really well. And not only that, like, also, it was kind of like, the pants are so tight on the World Cup circuit. Like,
it's kind of close anyway.
To name a few, someone's been on this podcast and has probably the tightest pants in the entire World Cup circuit. But I think it looks a lot cleaner. So when looks weren't really a problem at the time. When I was a little bit worried. I was like, oh, like, am I going to look like hunchback on my bike, or like, is it going to look weird? But when the colours started coming in and the designs, it really brought it together. And now I wouldn't race without one.
There you go.
Yeah.
So apart from the wee test, did you also test it for actual gains? Do you think there's a...
Well, I've been in a wind tunnel before.
Yeah.
And baggy clothing is
slower.
Yeah.
But you don't have to go on many road rides to, just change a tiny bit or undo your jersey, and you're like, oh man, actually. You wouldn't notice it otherwise, would you?
But I mean, we don't go that fast. But we are starting to go a lot faster. There's like way straighter lines, and we were like, oh, it's marginal gains, but the racing is so tight nowadays that it's kind of worth it. And like I said, you put it on, you feel good, you're ready to race. Like, I put mine on now and it's like, I'm going to race. It's like that extra thing that was needed. But when that came out in Fort William and it went viral, it blew up, I was just like, I have nothing left to do other than I have to go fast. Like, I can't put this Speedsuit on and come like last. That would be so embarrassing. I was like, I can't do it. So luckily I qualified first. Yeah. In Fort William, and that was just the best outcome.
Did that make it worse though, in a way? And did you get
no,
pushback?
It made it better.
No,
yeah, we did
pushback
get
from athletes or
teams.
Yeah.
Well, just as soon as it came out in the pits, I saw some of the athlete managers just like. So yeah, we got. I think Dad got sent to the office.
But before all this happens, I guess you go through that process.
We already knew it would be fine.
It's all good. Yeah.
We knew it would be fine.
Wow.
As a manager, I guess it's almost like your job. You have to just go, oh no, I don't agree. Like, even if you don't really.
No, they tried to get it banned.
Yeah.
But it's so fun because not much drama happens in the pit, and we were like, this is kind of fun. Like, there was a lot going on. There was like, it was new. It was the first race. I also had the prototype bike. Like, there was so much going on, and I guess like. It was just, there was a point to prove, and I love proving a point, so yeah, it was good fun.
For sure.
Do you ever wear it at the bike park? Bit much, innit?
The thing is as soon as I'm outside of a race, I feel so uncomfortable. It just doesn't have the same effect. But it's the same with my practice kits. They're so tight.
Yeah.
It just doesn't feel right outside of racing. But I think it looks way cleaner than like the insanely tight pants and then a jersey that most of them tuck in anyway, or is flapping about a bit, like the little end bit that's kind of just there. So
if Jackson hadn't got hurt, he was repping one. Yeah,
well, there are other people in the speedsuits. I think people forgot. Yeah, like Laurie didn't get comments under his post saying that he was doing it for clout. Nina didn't get any comments. I was like, why?
Was Nina in one?
Yeah, Nina was in. I think it's because mine was pink, and I had mine altered to be like, I obviously want it to be as tight as possible for performance purposes, but I don't know. It was funny. I think that's all I'm going to say.
I think it makes it hard to design the kit because you can look like you got a wedgie. Like if you put the top half, I thought some of them looked like you had a wedgie. I actually didn't think yours looked like you had a wedgie. I just don't want to.
Well, like you as in like a generalisation.
Okay, some of the other ones, I'll be honest, look like a wedgie. Do you know what I mean?
Like front wedgie or back wedgie?
Front, like the shirt was too high. Anyway, I'll shut up. I'm not wearing one anyway.
Are you not? No.
See, I asked for this bit you're on about, this panel, to be higher because when it was lower, and because of where my chest protector was, when I bent over, it gave me like a huge skin roll and it was kind of uncomfortable.
Right.
So I asked them to bring it up. Yeah. Maybe that's why it looked, but it kind of looks like a big nappy now. Maybe. I
didn't think yours looked. I actually wasn't referring to yours looking like a wedgie. Otherwise, I would.
Well, go on, drop the name.
No, I thought Laurie looked like he had a wedgie.
Really?
Yeah, a bit. Yeah.
Theirs were darker colours, so I thought they got away with. Yeah,
it was a contrast between the top and the bottom.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. And that's why yours was standing out. The different ones.
Yeah, well, they were just bright
colours
pink.
And I guess you were the first person to talk about it.
Well, I think
online.
Fox, there was a reason they wanted me to post it first. I think they probably knew it was gonna, like the pink colours and just my media usually goes really good at the first few races, so it worked. Like we didn't think it would go that viral, and I was so scared after seeing all the moto comments. I was like, oh no.
Were they bad in moto? Yeah.
They were so bad in moto.
Really?
Like the moto fans hated it.
I'm not sure what happens to it in moto. I haven't watched much Supercross this season. I don't know if they're still around.
I think they are.
Are they? Yeah.
But theirs is an actual one piece.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was zipped out over the back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I remember watching Bernard when he came on here and he was talking a load of shit about it.
No.
He called it. He called it.
Like, you wait.
Yeah, he called it.
I'm going to show you.
That was funny. That kind of played out perfectly.
Yeah.
The whole thing, like from our side as well. kind of perfect.
I wonder if we'll see BK in a speed suit this year.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows?
I don't know if we're going to see more or whether it's just like, it's not that much of a gain. So, like, I put something on my story in tongue of cheek after Fort William because everyone complained about the speed suit and managers and all that. And then I lose the race by 1.2 seconds or something. So I came third. Everyone's got a shot lock out on, whoever's won the race.
True,
and it's like, well, that's way more of a margin gainer than the speed suit was, in my opinion. So I put a little poll on my story being like, if you could choose one, which one would you choose? Oh, look, the shot.
Oh, dear. So, 2024 was a really good year, I'd say, right?
Yeah.
Seems like it, yeah?
Yeah.
I got a win. That win must have felt amazing.
That was Val de Sol, right?
Yeah, that was so good. It was the least expected round. I hate Val de Sol.
Really?
The track it's scary. It takes so much out of you. I never do well there in practice, and it's the race I've won the most. I've got 3 World Cup wins there, which to me is like, I'm just like, I don't know how that's happened, because there's an actual clip of me when I was seeing Geordie, who does the Fox suspension stuff, and I have to see him a lot, and I'm in the pits and I'm just like, well, I just don't know what else to do now, like, that's it. And I walk out and I'm just like, I hate this track. And then like the next clip is me on the podium like,
love it,
I love this place. But no, that weekend actually, I did want to talk about this because I felt so bad that weekend because I used my protection status, because I was there being like, protection sucks, like, get rid of it. Didn't qualify, didn't make the semis, and then made it through. Obviously I was protected because I was second in the overall, so I managed to race. On race morning I wake up, I share in a room with Phoebe beat me in both, she made it through, and I was like, well, like, I'm just gonna have to pray today because there's nothing else I can, like, I'm just gonna have to pray for a fucking miracle, because I was so slow. I was like 25 seconds behind Pom Pom or something. It was ridiculous. Whoa. So I was just like, again, with the mindset of today's a gift, like there's no way I should be riding. In morning practice, I change up my braking style. I don't really want to go too much into that, but it's kind of boring.
No, actually though. What do you mean your braking style? This seems a big change.
I was dragging my brakes a lot. After my runs, I was saying to Chris, my trainer, I was like, I don't get it. My arms hurt so much. I can't hold on towards the bottom. He's like, well, what are you doing? I'm like, well, I don't fucking know. If I knew, I'd change it. and then like, I'd probably like do pretty well. So I was thinking all night. I was tossing and turning. I was like, what could it be? And I was like, it sounds so stupid. I was like, well, I'm braking. So I'm braking too much.
You know the meme where all of the green like sums and stuff go around in the head.
No, but it sounds so dumb. But I was braking too much, obviously. But I mean, I was like dragging my brakes a lot, and that's, I think when I'm scared, I do that a lot. So I'm just going down the hill like this. Whereas like, you know what it's like when you want to hit a section nice and your bike needs to work properly, especially like Val de Sol. Under braking, your bike isn't going to work as well as it does when it's not. So I started in morning practice. I was like, I'm just going to try and like do heavy brakes, like big brake sections, and then just let the bike run. I was like, I thought I'd like, this is like revolutionary, even though everyone else rides like that. So I came down, I was like, my hands don't hurt. I was like, amazing. So that's how I rode. And then, yeah, I won the race. But that morning, I was going to say, I saw Louise Ferguson on track. She beat me in qualies and beat me in semis and wasn't able to ride because she wasn't protected. And I saw her and I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. I felt so guilty. I was like, I shouldn't be here. And
one goes out for you to go in?
No.
Oh,
I get a place no matter what. But it's the fact that she beat me. It's not fair. She beat me in both runs and I didn't perform and I shouldn't be in. And I said to her, I was like, I'm going to have to fucking get a really good result now, aren't I, to make this worth it? And I went and won. I was like, hey! Because like, I just felt like, I don't know. I felt really bad about it. It doesn't feel right. Yeah, well, like I said, Phoebe beat me all weekend, and then
you did win it in the end.
I know, but which is great for me personally, but as a whole, I don't know. It just doesn't feel right. I guess like I was in that position because I'd done so well before, and I managed to get my points up. But I'd understand if I got a flat or a crash, but I literally just rode like shit.
Yeah.
So it didn't feel deserved. So that win, although it was amazing, it was kind of like I walked away like, whoops.
Right. What does it feel like? 25 seconds. If you've got to find 25 seconds versus you've got to find 5 seconds, where does your approach differ?
I think I find it easier to find it, like, if you look back at my history of racing, my biggest wins are when I have had the shittest qualifiers or practice, and I don't get how. I think for me, it's like Dad says, when the odds are against me, I will come out full force, and I think it's the only way for me to get angry. Like, I'm not a very angry person, and I work really well when I'm like just mad and
so like a motivator.
I need to, and I'm like slightly embarrassed, or like I'm like, I'm better than that, you know. So that's what like fuels me when I'm like, I know I'm on about the happy, healthy, fast stuff, and that's like really good for my mental state, but it doesn't help me. Like, it helps me to a certain extent ride well and feel healthy, but it's not going to get me that World Cup win. And that's what I learned over last year, was you almost need this, like, not an alter ego, because that sounds kind of crazy, but you need like something to tap into. I do anyway, because most of the time I'm just chilling, and when I chill I end up being 25 seconds back, and I'm like, huh?
Yeah.
Michael Jordan used to make up beef with other people.
Yes.
Literally, I think it is actually like a tool to like the underdog mentality's got to be a real thing, hasn't it, psychologically?
For sure it is. Like, if I look back at all my races, but I kind of tried to, because it's hard being that person, getting into that ego-led state, and then coming out of it. It's like you're juggling like two people, and mentally it's tiring. And I don't want to be that person that's like all like confident and not cocky, but you kind of have to be in like day-to-day life. I don't want that. I don't want that side of me, because it's not something, one, I enjoy, and two, if someone was like that around me, I'd be like, all right, mate.
Yeah.
So it's like really hard to navigate. I think a lot of athletes find it difficult when they end their careers or finish their careers, because it's just like you come from up here and you're always in this like bigging yourself up thing, and then all of a sudden you just don't really have to do that anymore, and it's kind of, I think maybe just a hard thing for them to navigate. So I've tried really hard to not separate the two, because again that's also hard, but just for them to live alongside each other peacefully. And it's so hard to explain, but
no, I think it's really good that you like think about it and you're aware, seem super aware of it. Like even Val d'Isole, you start thinking like, oh, I hate this track, and then you drag your brakes all the way down it, and it's like, did you hate the track because you were dragging your brakes, or did you drag your brakes because you hate the track, or do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I mean, Val d'Isole is terrifying.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I don't know. I am a thinker. I'm like an overthinker, and I'm like constantly. I didn't realize that not many people, like a lot of people, just are kind of like calm in their brains, whereas I'm like a bit of a tennis court match thing going on back and forth all day.
Right.
And so when it comes to riding, it's like I just love a puzzle to solve. I think that's it. There'll always be a reason why something's going on in my brain.
Yeah.
There's always a reason for something. Which
it's kind of like what we were talking about before we hit record, about the difference between male riders and female riders. And you know, like you guys were talking about it, we were talking about it in the car earlier, about how the different approaches basically. Do you think all female riders have the same approach as you?
No. I think I'm not a ballsy rider.
You just come back from hardline.
Well, I'm a calculated rider. All those risks are very calculated. Well, I wasn't at hardline this year, but no, I think sometimes it holds me back a lot, because I'm over realistic sometimes, I think, with the skill set that I have. And like, I'm not too confident when it comes to like riding certain things, even though I could, but it's just like I get in my own head a lot.
And what is it, the actual feature, or is it the magnitude of the career?
It will be, I will go through every scenario in my head before hitting something. So,
okay.
What if you case it and break both your legs? What if,
Yeah.
no, but it's true, like, it's horrible to admit, but what if, I don't even want to say stuff.
No,
Yeah.
Yeah, but you get it. And then
Yeah.
I'm like, and then the next process is, okay, well, how realistic are all these things? So I go through them again, like, nope. I'm like, okay, green light, go. And then I have to go in that green light because it's like, I've been through all the options. Like, realistically, you're going to have the right speed. Realistically, you're going to know to pull on the lip. Realistically, you're going to make the landing. My thoughts will be like, oh, what if you just, like, forget how to ride your bike as you go off the lip? I'm just like, I don't know, go sideways or forwards. Or so mentally it's exhausting, but I feel like I'm, very safe rider.
Mm.
Maybe too.
I don't know. Seems
You're like,
way.
wow. Thinks about dying every time.
I'm completely with you. I don't think that's mad at all, thinking about all the crashes
Yeah.
you could have.
It's
I think
information,
every
isn't
crash,
it? It's information.
I think it's like, I think a lot of people do it, but probably the thought comes and then just goes.
Yeah.
It's like, whoop, nope, divert.
And you think
do that
guys
a
might
lot.
be better at that bit, maybe,
I just think maybe that doesn't,
or it's not even a.
yeah, maybe it's not even a thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think the approach is definitely different because I think I personally use more of a logical side to my riding, which isn't necessarily helpful, but sometimes in racing it can be, because to me racing is like a craft. It's like putting together all these bits and making sure I capitalize on where I'm better. This is my weakness. This is where this is their weakness. This is where I'm going to gain the most time on them. That's how I race. I love that side of things. Does Amory do that? I don't know. I feel like his runs are so exceptionally beyond what a human can do sometimes that I'm like, there's no way. Because if you were thinking, but I don't think in my race runs.
Right.
I do all the thinking before, so I
Yeah.
don't have to think in my race run. It's just natural.
Yeah.
So,
So
what
maybe
does
he
happen?
does-
What are you thinking about in a race run? Like, you're not.
Breaking.
Yeah. Here. They go, here. To be fair, that was Val du Sol. It was very like, here, let go, here. And it was nice. But most of the time, that was just a one-off, I think. Most of the time, it's just hitting everything as good as I can, or how I know how to hit it. I'm always so much faster in my race runs than I am in practice. It's ridiculous. In practice,
Really?
the other people must look at the clips of me and be like, what is she doing? Like, people think I must play mind games or something, because it's so, I don't know.
It's cool though that now you know that and you just trust the process.
Yeah, well, this year
Because
was
you could
better.
get in your own head and be like,
Yeah.
I'm slow.
No, I know.
Yeah,
I
but
you
know.
know that it's
Practice,
gonna,
Yeah.
the speed's gonna come.
But the other girls know that now as well, so.
Well,
But no, Pom Pom actually takes a piss out of me quite a lot for being so slow in practice.
Really?
But no, I've learnt that a bit more now, so I do try and make a conscious effort in practice to make it feel like a race run. I think that's why I did really well last year. And also before, like I said, it used to take a really shit practice / quali for me to do really well. Whereas last year I wanted to just eliminate the noise of that and be like, no, I'm just going to give 110% in every full run I do. And that's what will happen. Like, I'm not going to get like, if I do well in qualies, be like, oh my God, I've done well. I'm not going to do well in race. I'm just going to do as well as I can every single time run. Yeah.
Slightly going back a little bit, but I thought this was interesting because Val du Sol, it was just a passing comment in how we roll. But Elliot was like, you asked for a total media blackout.
Yeah.
What is that and why? And did it help?
Where was I before Val du Sol? Do you know where we were racing before?
Somewhere in your skin suit, just sort of over the internet comments, maybe.
Yeah, it might be some of that.
Usually I ask for a media blackout when I feel like, Leogang.
Okay.
I think it was before, and I crashed in Leogang. And there was a lot of media. We had to do the 50th anniversary of the Fox kit.
Mm-hmm.
And I love doing that sort of stuff. And sometimes it's nice to keep busy. But it's also, because I put a lot of effort into everything I do, it might take away effort from my riding, just because I will always give 110% in stuff that I'm asked to do, or like I want to do for myself. So it ends up being a lot. And not that that caused my crash or anything like that. But I love doing the media stuff because I think it's fun. It's like it's creative to me. So it's my own fault. But that's why when I went to Val di Sole, I was like, I don't want anything to distract from my riding.
Distractions, yeah.
But you can imagine when I did that and then I didn't qualify, I was like,
give me that phone back.
scroll through TikTok again. But I did the UCI thing,
It's like a press conference.
That's it. I did that, and then I just went off my phone, because I used to do that back in like 2017, 2018 on a race weekend. It's harder now because I do have a big media presence, and I think it helps kind of other people discover the sport when stuff goes viral and stuff, so it's really nice. But yeah, I think just sometimes there's too much outside noise for me and I get very overwhelmed but I do it to myself. So
what's like the perfect race weekend? If you could like summarize the perfect vibe in the pits, or like how it plays out.
I mean, I'm pretty lucky that we have I've spent my entire race career building the pit setup, I guess, and the people around us. So the pits is like never really a problem, but it does get busy sometimes with like fans and people. And although I'm not a very sociable person, so it takes a lot of energy for me to do like sign-in sessions, talk to people. I love meeting people and I love taking the time to have a good conversation, but that's the problem, is it just, some people could do it all day. I could do it for 10 minutes and I'd need a nap after. It's like actually insane. So
and your job comes down to 8 races basically.
Yeah.
And like if you're putting all your energy into those 8 races, it's like you're adding extra things, I guess. It must feel like.
It's just, I just think my brain I'm just like, it doesn't have a huge capacity for stuff like that. So
need hard drive.
It's Dropbox.
I do need to pay a bit more monthly, but
same.
But no, the perfect race weekend would, I don't know, other than winning everything, I don't think, like, so I love racing my bike.
So then you'd have to win quali. You have to win semis, quali.
Yeah, quali, semis and finals is obviously a perfect race weekend. But outside of results-wise, I don't know. Every race is different, and like sometimes things like struggling actually helps you towards the race run. So I wouldn't delete any of that sort of stuff. It's just every single race is different, and even if I found the perfect formula, it wouldn't work a second time because I've tried that. Thought I found it. You try it again, you end up coming like, I don't know, 8th, and it's like, oh, well, I did the exact same thing as I did last week when I won everything.
I changed my braking style again.
Don't tell him. Everyone. Don't want my competition though.
Oh dear. And then I guess 2024 too. Got world champs, bronze medal. You must be stoked with that.
I mean, no, I wasn't stoked with that. No.
Okay. I'm trying to think about that race, about how it played out and what happened.
Well, Vali won, obviously. She's I think,
of course,
been so dominant over the past, 3 years, I guess.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's so dangerous when someone like Vali, who feeds off of confidence and is just on a roll, it's really hard to break that or to get something from them, because there's nothing that can really stop that momentum. There's no wobble that can, some people, if they have a shit qualifier, or if they see someone do this or that, she's just so strong at that point that nothing's going to affect her, so in qualies when she was quite far off, I was just oh no. It was I gave everything I had, so lost fair and square there, but I just felt like, I think that's why I was disappointed, because I did everything perfectly and then it just still wasn't enough. So I think that was quite sad for me, because it's like, oh fuck, like you just got to sometimes take it on the chin and be like, well, I wasn't the best in the world today. Like I was beaten fair and square, but you know, it's Vali, Höll, Miriam, Nicole, so I think if some random person turned up and beat me that day, maybe I would have been a little bit worried. But
it's such an interesting sport in that respect, because like you said, she's just on her trajectory and there's nothing you can do. You know, I guess from yesterday's conversation with Scott Beaumont about forecross, let's say you're lined up together on the gate, there's kind of something you can do, because you can try and hit them, you can try and, do you know what I mean? Whereas with downhill, you're just on your own program and there's nothing you can do.
Yeah,
There's no
I think
mind
you
games,
can
nothing.
unwillingly get in other people's heads, or like accidentally, but then that's their problem, you know? It's not, I won't go out of my way to, there's just more energy from me than it is anything else, because I don't know how they're going to take it, or if it's even going to work. And then I'll just be worrying if it does work or not. I don't know. Yeah, no, I think
everyone just ends up worrying.
yeah,
Everyone's just freaking out.
But no, it's I just stay in my own lane, I think. But Worlds was slightly frustrating, because it was close, and like it's a track that doesn't suit me. And like I said, I was really proud of my riding last year, because I just took every run and tried the best I could. And that's not how I've really done it in the past. I'd like chill a little bit. And I think I just had a feeling that I definitely could be world champion. So it was like, damn
That's
it.
sick. That means the return is complete. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When do you reckon there was a moment where you felt like the return was complete, where you were actually racing?
It was in the off season. It was when we were doing some test camps in the pre-season. I think I did hardline Tasmania. Felt really good. I hadn't ridden my downhill bike all winter, but because I'd been all delulu in the shower telling myself I was the greatest person when I got to hardline. This is what I mean, it works. Got to hardline, I was like, sweet. No, I love that sort of riding. Like that's what makes me tick. Like something really difficult and having to think about it and overcoming that fear, that is what makes me love riding. So that was a great start to the season. And then went to New Zealand, tried the new prototype that I had, and everything just went really well. And then when we were testing, I was really close to the boys' times. I knew that I was, and I think Phoebe started to get upset in some of those team camps, because she was, I guess we'd been used to being on the same level, because I was injured, come back, Phoebe was coming out of juniors, so we were really close and tight in times. And then the off season came along, we came to our first team camps, and I was kind of like, I was just going up and up. And I think it was hard for her, because she had a really good off season training, but then comes to the team camp, and obviously I'm like 5 seconds ahead, maybe 8 to 10 on full runs. And I remember saying to her, I was like, yeah, but Phoebe, like, you're potentially comparing yourself. And I was like, I don't want to sound cocky, but the fastest in the world right now, because that's how good I felt. I was like, and she was like, yeah, whatever.
So gangster.
But when we got to the first World Cup and I qualified first, she was like, I feel better now. A lot of stress for her, but it's good for her.
Your team dynamic seems very fun.
It is, yeah, it's the best. Phoebe was a big part of me coming back and enjoying racing again. So in the midst of all that stuff where I said like Andorra and all that, Phoebe was also a huge part in me enjoying racing again, because we get on so well, and she's like my best friend. She's like 9 years younger than me. She's my little sister, and we just laugh so much. And like most of the time we share rooms at World Cups. And I think when I came into the sport, it was really hard racing someone that I'd looked up to for a long time, and I guess had I guess we just didn't really, me and Rachel never really it was just the competition was so hard. Yeah. And I think it was, as much as I would have loved to, some racers just can't do that. and it's like, and she's the very best for a reason, you know. So, and I guess the same with Vali. We're not going to go and like hang out and have like shopping weekends together. Me and Pom Pom can, but that's grown over the years. That's a relationship that's actually taken a lot of work and a long time.
Yeah.
And I guess when Phoebe came on the team, I just promised myself that I really wanted to be someone that she could trust and learn from. And turns out I've learned way more from her, I think, than she has from me. But yeah, it's been a lovely, like,
That's really
I'm
nice.
really worried that obviously another team is going to pick her up and stuff. But I think we'll try hard to keep her on. And she's just, she's going to be so good. I think if she manages to figure out her race runs, which she does sometimes, but she's still so young. Yeah. But yeah, that was a huge, because it's like sibling rivalry is so huge. Me and Chaos used to have it all the time. So that kind of brought that back for me. And we're like so competitive when it comes to playing cards or like running down the road so you can like touch something first. There's like loads of little things. It really brought that fun back for me, and I guess the childness that I needed. I don't know. Yeah.
That's really cool.
So she brings a lot of fun to the team.
Yeah,
Would you say
she's
that's
so
like,
funny. Yeah,
that's like a big part of making race weekend more like relaxing or more like less pressure maybe?
I think, yeah, we always say it's nice because we turn up, and if something, we always say at least we're in it together. Like if something's really scary or like we're having a shit time, and then we like lie in bed at night and we're like, but we're both in it together. So it's like a lot less daunting, I think. And then we get in the queue together, and we're not just sat there on our own, like going, like for me it's amazing obviously because we just chat shit and like in the gondola, and then we ride together in practice, not all the time because obviously sometimes we need different things, but it's just, it does relieve a lot of pressure. On a team,
I guess there's a lot of dynamics where you're on the same team but you're not on the same team.
It's
you're on your own program.
Because you are on your... It is hard. Sometimes it's not the easiest to navigate, I'll be honest. It's like, how do you go about, at the end of a race, two insanely competitive people, going back to, this is what I was on about, like the ego and stuff. You just kind of have to put it to one side. Yeah. So she's taught me a lot, and I think I've become a way better person through learning about myself and having to... I don't know, like Ludonville, I lost the overall, and then Phoebe gets her best World Cup result of the entire season. I can't sit there and all night and be in a mood, because that would take away from Phoebe's best World Cup result to date. So that's been hard, but I like it, challenging myself as a person, and that's done exactly that. So
yeah, team dynamics, social dynamics, it's everything.
Yeah, but I never expected to have such a close bond with someone. Like obviously me and Pom Pom are really close, but we're not on the same team. We don't have to see each other 24/7. Yeah. Whereas like with Phoebe we do, but I think having that younger, older sister vibe helps a lot, because when we do get sick of each other, it's pretty easy to just tell each other. But
I think it's a really hard thing to get right as well, like to like manufacture, because you see like F1 teams try and do it. Yeah. And it doesn't go how you think it does. Like I think it was Lando and Ricciardo, two like fun guys in F1, and everyone thought it was just going to be like a hoot, and it actually wasn't, because it's all just too tied up in, like you say, competitiveness. I think it's really hard to put together.
It is really hard.
Whole thing, yeah.
Especially as like I'm like at the like the other end of my career. Phoebe's just coming in, whereas I'm like slowly gonna die out, you know. Like
it's quite harsh, okay.
Just slowly, like yeah, but it's true. Like they're going like this, I'm gonna slowly, like it's realistic at the end of the day. But she, like, her best is yet to come. I feel like my best is probably yet to come as well. But when you think about it, I just feel like if I'm realistic about the situation, it won't sting as much when she beats me. I'm like, yeah, well, I'm old now anyway, so it's fine. But that is like, it's a thought that I've had to like really think about and be like, fuck, like, because I'm so used to, it's a weird dynamic because she's the chaser. I'm used to, so arguably, luckily we had that year where, like I said, I came back from injury, she was a junior, so we did kind of swap places, and that was actually, I think, really good for us, because I learnt to get beat by her and she learnt to beat me, but she still says, I haven't beaten you properly yet. Better pedal a bit faster.
She's playing mind games.
No, it's really cool. It's really cool.
All right. Speaking of really cool, it's a really cool ad.
Yeah, it's all right. That wasn't my favourite.
Nah, I've done better.
Yeah, you've done better than
Heartbreak.
that. Yeah, break, yeah.
Mate, this one is the easiest ad read that we do. We're just going to speak from the heart. WORX have been a sponsor of ours for years, and we've both used the majority of the tools at this point.
Absolutely. I mean,
loads.
I've really sort of redone my house with WORX tools.
Yeah, I've got a plethora.
I bought in mine.
Show and tell.
This is you what? Sorry, yeah, it's show and tell. Exactly. So this is my Hydra shot, and I bought it in because I wanted to do show and tell and talk about the things that I really love about it.
Please.
Is that okay?
I'd love for you to do that, please.
So basically, one of the key things beyond the actual function of this, which we'll get into in a second, is the fact that it's part of the power share system. Now, every single power tool I own, and whether that's garden, home, DIY, my chainsaw, trail building, I've got 2 chainsaws.
Ooh.
I need to actually keep my voice down, otherwise WORX will hear and they'll stop sending me anything. I'm spoiled.
Yeah.
But this power share, this goes in everything I own. So I can't tell you how easy that makes life.
Yeah,
I've always
100%.
got something charged up. I'm not the most dialed with like having a set up charging area. So it's always good to know that you've always got batteries.
Yep. It's true.
Pop it in here in a waterproof case.
Nice. There it is.
And you're off to the races. Now this I use attached to my hose.
Yep.
But previously I've used it with the hose connection that goes into a water source. So you can do it from a bucket or a river. So you can have it in the back of your van.
Yeah.
To clean your bike.
Yeah. Super handy. Portable, of course. Like I've done that before. I've finished a ride. I've been parked near a water source, whether it's a puddle or even actually taking water in
Portaloo.
a 25 litre drum.
I saw Davey once
Gave it the blue wash down. Yeah, I dipped it into my bucket that I'd taken.
Yeah.
Washed the bike in the back of the van. Dry when you get home. Sometimes I even use my WORX leaf blower.
No, you don't.
To dry a
I don't
bike.
have a leaf blower.
Gangster.
I best get on the
It's
emails.
so
I'm
cool.
going to get a leaf blower on the go.
But yeah, love this brand. Love the tools. Super easy. I mean, the Hydra Shot's become a MTB must, hasn't it?
I mean, it really has.
If you don't own one, you may as well not have a bike.
Yeah, your bike's really going to end up landfill.
Yeah, basically yeah.
This is actually the nitro version as well. So this is more powerful.
Some extra beans.
Some extra beans. It's got this like adjustable head, so you can adjust like the spray. Like any, I mean, we don't need to tell you what a pressure washer does. This does what a pressure washer does, but I can't tell you how good it is and how easy it's made my life. And I've been using it for so long. This is literally the easiest advert to do.
It's so good.
Before I had a hose fitting on my house.
Yep.
I used to live in a flat.
Yep.
I used to wheel the bikes into the flat. It was so annoying having muddy bikes. It just meant I had a muddy house. I got this. It literally changed my life. I'm not even joking. I could wash my bikes and I didn't have to live in a pigsty. And then I could get a girlfriend.
Dude.
And look at us now.
This jet wash has changed your entire life.
Yeah, it's meant that I can actually have a partner in life. I'm not just on my own with a muddy house.
I mean, what an endorsement.
It's mind-blowing, isn't it?
Yeah,
it is mind-blowing.
What's even better than that? So people can get a partner, change their life, and save 15%.
How much?
15%, dude.
I mean,
say it again.
The fact, 15%, you're serious?
15%,
I mean, the fact that they offer this product to general public as something you can just buy is ridiculous enough. And now we're offering it for 15% less.
Mate, you'll never see a single mountain biker again.
I mean, I kind of want to keep it secret a little bit. That's why it's the only downer about doing these ads. I wanted to keep it a bit secret. I don't want everyone to have the secret to my success in life. All right, maybe we're going overboard. We actually, do you know what? It's a product we don't really need to. The Hydra Shot is absolutely unbelievable. And you say we get 15% off. How do we get 15% off?
Head to WORX.com, enter the promo code The Ride Companion. It's on screen right now. The promo code is flashing black and orange. The Ride Companion at WORX.com. Change your life.
The
Clean
Ride
your bike.
Companion at WORX.com.
Yeah, easy as that.
Seems easy.
It is easy.
Change your life too. Thanks, WORX.
Cheers, WORX.
What a break. We're back. 2025, new team. You got lots of changes. First of all,
New bike.
Martin. Well, yeah, new bike. Yeah,
Yeah.
there you
Yeah.
go. Because Martin's joined, and Martin previously was racing on like an e-bike with a motor taken out, and
Yeah. This is where I'm not too sure what I can say.
that's cool though. Well, you're not saying anything yet.
I don't want to get into trouble. But in my position, I don't feel like I could win on a modified e-bike. So, yeah, I just feel like there were a lot of comments that went around like on forums and stuff I didn't really understand because, yeah, we're not going to sign with a brand who aren't 100% committed to trying to get a race bike to the top of the sport, because that's where my goals are right now, and we need someone that aligned with those goals. So obviously those things are easier said than done, but you know, they have amazing bikes across the board. There's a lot of stuff that happened in 2024 that is like I can't speak about too much because it's reserved for how we roll and all of that. They want to tell the story.
Yeah.
But mainly we were kind of confused midway through the year, and we didn't really know what was going to happen for 2025. So we were really lucky and grateful for the opportunity we got presented by Orbea, and it just made sense, and it gave us the opportunity to become a factory team, which we've never been before. I know from the outside, like Dad's very good at
it looks like
polishing and making stuff look amazing.
Yeah.
That's his jam, but he's never been paid for being team manager. We struggle a lot. You know, it's a very, very tight budget, so it's nice going into a season where we feel like we can get all the prep done needed, and just hoping that, we can work alongside Orbea to develop something that's going to win us some races.
Yeah. So the differences would be when you're not a factory team is what you're just riding the bike that's been developed elsewhere. And
I guess like a lot of people are like, oh, it's so weird that they don't have a bike, but most of the established brands that have downhill bikes already, all of the teams are like the A teams will be on prototypes anyway. They're always,
especially recently, even more so,
always trying to develop something faster. You know, some of the teams haven't had a production bike in like years. Like I don't think some of the top riders ride bikes that you ever see on display or available to public. So it's a really cool opportunity. It is scary. It's something I've never really done before. I guess last year I had the prototype from Canyon, but that was kind of done and dusted. And I guess it was given to me because at the time I was like one of the highest ranked Canyon athletes. So it made sense for that to come to me and Troy and Luca. And yeah, I mean, it was a good bike, but there's always stuff that can be improved on bikes. So given that opportunity is great. Yeah.
Yeah.
You said you haven't developed a bike before, but you've got actually now years and years of experience. Like if you think about all the things that you just take for granted that you know you like in a bike, are you like putting that into this new one?
Yeah. Well, I think it's lucky that most of the people on the team, obviously you all kind of want the same feeling from a bike, or you know what's going to be fast, so I guess that feedback is quite similar. But yeah, we've got still a few months, and you got to start somewhere, and we've had a really good start, so it's looking promising, and I'm really, really excited because I've never been able to turn around to a brand and been like a bike brand, and be like, oh, I don't really like this, can we change it? Like, it's not really something that you can do, or I really like the thought of this, can we try this? So yeah, it's
rad, really cool. Does your involvement change at all now being on a factory team? Obviously it's still run by your dad. Is that the same dynamic?
It's all the same. I guess it's just probably is just as stressful because now we have 10 races. It's just like I said, it's not, I guess he's able to pay the staff and like riders correctly, I guess, or as well as he can, and distribute the money into like team camps that we never had before, or like we all used to have to, like, accommodation was always a bit hard, I guess, at races sometimes, because everyone's having to share. And
Yeah.
I can imagine in general it removes a lot of worry.
Yeah. I mean, that my dad does all that, and I don't really have to worry anyway. It's so funny because he actually says, so I don't have to book any flights or anything. Like, the team does it all. And when he's like, oh, you're flying from Heathrow, I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake, it's like a 4-hour drive, whatever. And then I had to book something from New Zealand the other day, and I was on the laptop for like 2 hours trying to find the best. And I messaged my dad, like, who do you usually book with? And he was just like, see, not that fucking easy, is it? He's like, now try for 14 people trying to land the same time, same place. I was like, whoa! I was like, never going to complain again. But yeah, no, it's I guess, yeah. And maybe before, on a B team, it's hard because it's like, you don't have the budget for really renowned mechanics or chefs, or like you need a soigneur who kind of does everything. And whereas now I think we can have people who are more experienced and more dedicated to the job, so that the athlete's job becomes way easier, and you can eliminate all the noise and we can just focus on racing our bikes and going fast.
Rad.
So
exciting time.
Yeah.
Really exciting time. So are you, I mean, you probably can't say, but you're in the process now of developing a bike for the season. Is that fair? Maybe. We don't know.
Well, I mean, I think it's pretty obvious.
It's obvious you need a downhill bike.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I think I'm going to have to ride something. So.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You will.
Yeah.
There's lots of other changes, right? So you got Martin on board.
Yeah.
That's going to be exciting, huh?
Really cool. He's super experienced. I've known mine for a long time, not like super personally, but he's raced a few World Cups. Yeah, super good dude. And I think it's pretty cool for the team to have like 2 Red Bull athletes as well in both the women's and men's field. The only thing we're kind of missing out on is a junior woman, because
Phoebe's moved up.
Yeah, Phoebe's, she's been an elite a couple of years now, but because of the whole teams thing, we were in a really good position. Like, we're like, I think we're 6th in the overall now. Like, now, because they've like done everyone's points accordingly to the new rules. So I think that could have been quite a nice fight for us all. So that would have been nice. But without a junior girl, I think it would be a little bit difficult.
Okay.
But we did try and line one up, but that's a good thing about what's happening in the sport right now is, you know, girls are getting like pro team rides, which we didn't really see, especially juniors. We're seeing like 2 women now on pro teams, most of them.
Right. So it's up the value, basically.
Yeah. I know there's a lot of noise around all that stuff and the changing rules, but for me personally, I feel like there's a big step forward when it comes to the value of women's racing. And yeah, we're seeing better contracts for them. They're, like, we're seen as more valuable now, I guess.
Yeah.
Which is like annoying to say because it should have been like that in the first place, but at least it's, yeah, like we've got 2 elite women. So as Syndicate now have Ellie as a junior, so that's two women.
Yeah.
They got Lou and Millie on Intense. There's just like quite a few now.
Yeah.
And all teams, I think, apart from one, have an elite woman.
So explain in the points to listeners why that is with the new rules. So that's because you want to, so the teams need.
Yeah. I think the teams before, it's always been so confusing, but I think before anyone, maybe not last couple of years, but before anyone could just bring in points. So whoever had the most people on the team would just win, basically. Yeah. And then last year it was your top performing in each category, whereas now it's going to be your top 4 performing athletes across the board. So it doesn't matter what category you're in. I think so. If you've got juniors, I think so. Right. I could have just read it completely wrong.
It's confusing.
No, and I'm sorry to ask you, and then I ask because I don't know. I understand that it's had that effect, so it must be.
Yeah. All I know is they've done changes, and people like it, people don't. we're just going to try and roll with it and make the most out of it. But
yeah,
it's
I mean, yeah, it's definitely fair to say some people like it, some people don't. That's very accurate. And I think we've said we're just trying to be neutral with this, to be honest. Just sit in the middle.
Yeah.
Well, I actually don't know.
No.
I actually don't know. You hear, obviously, the things that make noise, but then the internet's such a funny place now. It just like amps up negativity so hard, doesn't it?
It's really hard to I think people prefer to leave a negative comment than a positive comment.
Yeah.
Because I think people who have something positive to say probably are just like cruising. And I don't know. And I feel like when you're angry, you need to get it out there. But I don't know. It's easier, I think, from the outside to have an opinion on what's going on. It's been quite hard living through all the changes of the sport. But I think overall, the outcome, at the moment, there's some good people that are working, that are on deck trying to make it work for the athletes, and there's a lot of it. We've seen so many improvements when it comes to safety. Post track walk, we have meetings, and 99% of the problems, maybe a bit less than that, that we tell them about are fixed. But sometimes it's hard because the organisers of the race and the track builders can't do that. So there's not always a person to blame or a finger to point at someone.
Yeah.
It seems like, so, and the outcome or the goal is obviously to try and make it bigger and better for everyone, and that does mean some savage cuts in some places, and it's always going to be like that in sport. But like I said, there are some rewards on the other side where it comes to, for me, I see women's racing blooming, so it's for me that's a real good positive, and I'll just hang on to that for now, I guess.
Yeah.
But
and I guess we're seeing it across other events too. Women's racing or women's events being included at Rampage and Crankworks, and having equal prize money.
Yeah.
There seems to be some positive things happening with
and
women's mountain biking in general.
And if the racing becomes more elite, in inverted commas, it means that the series, the filter series, becomes more legit, which makes it better for exposure for other people that maybe want to get onto pro teams. It's all really hard because there's a lot of pros, but there's a lot of cons.
Yeah.
Especially for people that want to view the sport and watch it easily. It's not as accessible. Well, it's nowhere near as accessible as it was. But hoping that when the money goes into the sport, it might take a while, but hoping that it will be put into the right places. You can only kind of cross fingers.
Yeah. You don't actually know with anything, do you? Any big change.
Yeah.
You don't really have any control. I guess that's really what everyone reacts to. Everyone sounds like they react because they know the answers otherwise.
Yeah.
But actually, they're reacting because it's a bit uncertain. They're a bit
and like you say, it is
Yeah.
a reaction. It's not you're not thinking ahead of the bigger picture. It's here and now. And yeah, it might suck here and now, but that doesn't mean it's not going to suck when everything's actually in place.
Yeah.
I think the one thing to me that doesn't make much sense currently is the 2 year as a junior. To me, they should have a U23 or something, because you can't expect, apart from Asa and Max, who have excelled in their junior category. It's really hard if they got injured in their first year and then their second year took a bit longer to perform. Teams, you can't hang on to someone through hope. You've got to go off facts and results and stuff, and especially when you're getting pressured by bigger companies that they want to sponsor or people, this, that and the other. It doesn't give them enough time to prove themselves and for the team to be able to hold on to them for longer.
Yeah.
It's kind of just pick them up.
It's a bit
drop.
make or break.
Yeah, and it's really hard, I think. So now I think it's a little bit harder for juniors, because a lot of people take longer to kind of come out into elite years, like Dakota.
Yeah.
He's had his best years the past couple of years.
Yeah.
So
Ronan.
Yeah.
So what is that rule? That's the only stay in juniors for 2 years?
Yeah, at the moment, the rule, and it's been like that for a while now, the junior category is from 17. Yeah, you start the year of your 17th birthday, and then you move up to the elites in the year of your 19th.
19th, yeah.
So you have 2 years in juniors, but to me, the way the sport's going and how competitive it is now and how reduced the field is getting, like the elite field, if you're reducing those numbers, I think you've got to try and make it more accessible for the youngsters coming through, because you're doing this, it's making the filter series a lot better for everyone else, but what about the youngsters coming through? And that's probably the only thought I've had recently, where I've thought, and XC have U23, and if you are good enough, you just go up into elites. Like, you're like, I want to go into elites, and then they allow that or whatever. But I don't know if it would work but I thought that would probably help with some of like the younger people not being able to hold down contracts, because 2 years just isn't enough.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, especially at that age, you're so YOLO.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You can easily have 2 years out.
When I started racing, we didn't have a junior category. It was just in the mix with everyone. Which,
you had an asterisk next to you, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Funny thought, isn't it?
Yeah.
What do you think you would have thought, your first World Cup, if you could look ahead to now, what would you have thought back then?
I think it's probably pretty pro. Probably like hard. I think like, oh no, I'm not one I don't really like dwell on change and stuff. I try and just take positives out of any situation I can, because like I said, I'm not actively a positive so I have to try and find but no, I just try and I think I've always just, there's some things you just can't control as an athlete, like, and if you start worrying about it, then that's a lot of energy spent. I think you can try and make things better by suggesting things and maybe coming together as athletes, and we had the union, but again, the union is just like, there's so many people with different opinions. It's really hard for for then Warner Bros or whoever we're approaching to take us seriously, because one person's saying this, and then you have to go with what the majority is saying, but then that might be 51% of people, and the other 49 don't agree. So it's really hard to, but I think, I don't know, everyone's just getting on with it now, I think. I think it will be exciting. I think the racing itself is going to be really exciting, because we've got more races. So there's no protection. There's just more chance of people taking the overall. It's not going to be done by like the second race.
I
I'm
think
old enough to actually still feel spoiled. I feel spoiled because, like, you used to look at results in a magazine that came out 2 months after the event, and then it went to like live timing, and I still just think, wow, this is mad how much, like, I remember little things happened, like Dirt TV, and then seeing clips of Dirt TV, seeing the race, you felt like you were there. You were like, oh my god, let alone a live feed. Then Freecaster, that was just like, I think it's easy to forget that, like, all of those things have happened, and that before it wasn't a given. It was, like, I watched live timing. Well,
it's like now as well. I obviously don't watch the races live, so I can't comment on that. But I do.
Come on.
I do see a lot more cameras on track.
Right.
And I do see, the finish line looks a lot more pro. I don't know, it's just like, there is something cool about it. It's like, we've worked really hard to get here, and now we feel like actual, like, because before, pro mountain bikers, I don't know, it was like a bit like, if somebody said to me, what do you do for a living? It's like, I'm like a pro mountain biker. They're like, a what? A pro, like, downhill mountain biker? I'm like, what? Whereas I think now it's becoming more of a thing, and I don't know, and they're putting on a real show, especially at the events. So it's just trying to, I guess if it was easily accessible, it would be amazing, but swings and roundabouts.
It is. Is there anything you think that women's mountain biking needs at the moment to help it grow more?
Other than shiwis in skin suits.
Nice.
Ollie. No. Like I said, I think we could definitely help the youngsters coming through a bit more. I think the 2 years just doesn't give them enough. I think, like I've said, I've loved having Phoebe come through, and like I've kind of just naturally taken on that role of trying to help her navigate through this like crazy career and life that we have. So yeah, I guess like mentorship is massive as well, and teams committing to women and actually giving them a chance and the opportunity. I've always said, if you give them the opportunity, they will shine. Like the problem is, like even with Hardline before, we won't give them a platform, so we couldn't even showcase what we were capable of because it wasn't possible. Like
yeah.
And we hadn't seen people before us do it, so it just seemed impossible. Like I remember, slightly off topic, but I remember seeing the road gap like 6 years ago maybe, and thinking, no way. I didn't even think in my head one day I'm going to do that, because it just wasn't even possible. And fast forward 5 years, like literally last year, we hit it for the first time in history. So, and I think people seeing that, and young girls seeing that, the exposure, the platform, the opportunities, they're probably going to go out and send more jumps. Like, whereas before, when I was younger, I didn't really send jumps. It wasn't. Yeah. I just thought I had to go fast and pick racing.
It's actually a mega good point. What changed then? If you were someone who was just like not even considering it, and then all of a sudden you're literally doing it.
But what changed was Louise and Cami standing at the edge of it on the first hardline we did together, so the year before last, and saying, I think that's possible. And I was like, really? Kind of like hated standing on the edge of it. And Cami just sends. She is a proper sender. And then Louise is very calm, like she's so calming to be around. So having them both agree that this was a good feature to hit, I was like, oh, that like makes sense. And then I guess the following year when Cami opened it up, there was no going back for me at that point. I was like, well, it's obviously possible. So, and I think I'm capable of doing it, so I'm going to go. But before that, seeing the men didn't inspire me to, because it's just not relatable.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that. Yeah. Do you don't get that same feeling then if you see one of the men hit it? You're not like, oh, that's possible. You kind of have to see.
It's just not relatable, because it's like, meh. Like, I don't know, that's just me. But when I see a woman doing it, I'm like, wow, like that means I can do it.
Interesting, yeah.
And I don't know, I just think it's seeing something for the first time. And I don't know. So I decided to not go to Tasmania this year, Hardline Tasmania, because long season ahead, bike needs refining, I need refining, very high risk. We saw all these crashes come out, and I was quite glad. But and I was really gutted to not go, because I felt like I've put a lot of hard work into getting the women's to where it is at Hardline, and I have quite a big role there. And I think I was upset to not be able to support the girls, but I had to come home to go with jet lag before the next team camp, all this stuff. But the moment I saw Gracie do her run, I was like, the goal has been achieved. Like, she cruised down. It's obviously not a cruise, I'm not saying that, but she made it look so good. Not only was she getting over the jumps, but she was styling it out. And it was just like, she's what, 20, I think?
Wow.
20?
Yeah.
And it's just like, that is why I did what I did, so that this could happen. And now, all the little girls that would have been in Tasmania or watching on live feed just know that, well, one day if they want to compete at Hardline, they can. Yeah. And if you start younger, obviously, it's a lot easier to face your fears when you're smaller. So I think,
a slightly different topic, but I also want to throw like some flowers at like Fox, for example, doing the TS57 range.
Yeah.
Like, that's something that I don't think in previous years I've seen a brand like really get behind a female athlete and do a collab and do different colorways, and like really, I remember seeing your like TS57 I think launch, I can't remember what race it was, but they had like a whole brand experience there, and it's like,
and Leger, cool. Last year we went overboard. Yeah that was it's really good to be able to work with people that trust your vision and can actually see that it's bigger than just putting a bit of pink on some kit. You know, it's not just that. So it's nice that they share the same vision, and it's just so fun. And like, when I see all the little girls come up and like beaming smiles from ear to ear, and that just saying that they love my kit and they love pink, and it's nice that you can have little girls that maybe do want to be all girly and dress up girly, but also just want to send, like, and there just wasn't really, I feel like, a place for that before. It was kind of one or the other. Whereas now I feel like, there's just...
I guess you've got it in your Insta bio.
Yeah.
Which is...
Well, the girl in pink.
The girl in pink.
It's just like, I think visually as well, as far as a marketing tactic goes, it's worked really well, I guess. And it's just something that catches your eye, and instantly I think for little girls is like, whoa, there's like a girl in pink that's like doing crazy shit. Like,
it's really cool.
Yeah.
Really, really cool.
It's obviously become a lot bigger than anything I ever expected. Like, that wasn't the whole reason I started, but
really, I
think it just caught on eventually, and I
mean, it's mega cool, the idea that you have to see it to know it's... I've just been thinking about it solidly since you said it, genuinely. That you have to see it to think it's possible. Or to open... It really opens the gate, doesn't it? Like, I think probably a lot of people would watch you win a World Cup, and then they'd probably assume as well that you were like wishing that you could do that road gap, that you would be immune to the effects of seeing someone else do it, and then realise it's possible. But even you're at the top of the world, and for you to see someone do it and then be like, that's literally all it took. It was like a switch, like, now I do that massive road gap that I never thought I'd ever do.
Well, like I said, I'm not a very ballsy person. Like, I am calculated, and I'm scared. Like, I'm a scaredy cat when it comes to stuff like that. I think I enjoy pushing my limits, and I enjoy the reward after when I have overcome fear. And I guess it's just every time it gets a bit bigger. And I didn't just start with hardline road gap. Like, I started on like small stuff, and like anyone does when you start getting better. But I still go to, I don't know, I could turn up to a wind hill and there'll be like a 4-foot gap, and I'm like, ooh. I don't know. It's just like, I don't know. It's just, I think people do forget that we're all human at the end of the day. But even when I started racing, the only thing I can remember from starting to race is I went to watch the Leger World Champs in 2008? 2004, I think it was. 2004. And this Kiwi girl called Vanessa Quinn won on this baby blue bike, and it was, for me, purely the colour of the bike, and she had like this little cute blonde bob that was like mine.
Yeah, really, yeah.
So I was like, wow, like, and then I just became her biggest fan, and I wanted a baby blue bike just like hers, and that's what got me so addicted to.
In a way, it's like actually kind of obvious. It's like in plain sight, because then you think about like the Steve Pete turns up, Warner, that era, they do really well. Then you get lots of people from the UK doing well. Yeah. It's like, it's kind of obvious that happens, that like you would see it and then
actually get inspired.
It's just deleted from your mind that it's not for you, almost.
Well, that's why I really feel strongly about the whole platform thing. You know, when you give the girls a platform, it's not like we're not capable. There are definitely women that can be the first and will be the first, because they're like, they've got it in them. And you know, if you're not giving them a platform to showcase what they can do, then no one's going to see it, and no one's going to be inspired, I guess.
Gracie's run at Hardline was really quite
incredible. I was so proud. I was just like, obviously I would have loved for there to be more, but this year was really challenging. I think it was so dusty. We saw, like I said, massive crashes, but the confidence on her was just like insane, incredible. I think she does want a bit of a race, but I feel like she's just going to have to wait, because it's so, you know, I think last year Tasmania got a bit of stick. Everyone's saying it was too hard, but it's really easy for us to go there, have a few days practice, and then just post the clips where we look quite good and like we've got really comfortable on these features. But the first day, if you were there to watch, like all the pros, all the men are like scared. It's like when we did the hardline road gap, I was expecting when we were there with the men for everyone to be like jolly, and like it went silent, like completely silent, and the vibe changed. And then I think someone like Teo said out loud, like, oh, this fucking never gets any easier, does it, boys? And then it just like no laughs really, just everyone just like. So I think, yeah, it's easy to forget that everyone's still shitting themselves because we have to put together a race run.
Yeah. You got plans for Hardline Wales this year, do you think? How does it, is it changing? With it been a busier season? With it been...
Yeah, the busy season is kind of... And like I said last year, I realised how much I love racing, even though like the hardlines were amazing and I love the feeling. I feel like the hardlines now are getting to a point where women can do top to bottoms and do want to go. Like now we've set up prize money and podiums, so there's something to go for. And if I'm not in the mindset of turning up and actually competing, then I feel like it's not a space for me right now. Like we're allowed so I do the invites and we're allowed I'm given 6 spots, which is again, I'd want more. Yeah. But for now it's really good, and obviously we're trying to get more top to bottoms. But yeah, I think some people as well were like, oh, why is Tahnée even there? She doesn't do a top to bottom and is taking up a spot. And it's like, well, I give out the spot. I'm not actually taking up a spot because I actually have work to do as well whilst I'm here. But yeah, I am trying to get. We want to see more top to bottoms for sure. And I think with the racing, and because I'm just so competitive, I want to do a top to bottom, but it's not easy and it's really scary and it's not a given. And it's really tiring, it's emotionally draining, and when you've got now 10 World Cups and I'm trying to have my best season there, it's kind of hard to juggle everything.
Fantastic.
So, I don't really know.
We should do some listener questions very shortly.
Yeah, we should.
Yeah.
Before we do that, I did this with Reece the other day, it was quite fun. 10 World Cups, I'll give you the name of the race in order. One word that describes it for you. First one that comes to your mind, boom, there it is. You ready?
Yeah.
Bielsko, I can't say it though. Bielsko-Bala, Poland.
Fun.
Ludenviel.
Steep.
Leogang.
Bike park.
Val di Sole.
Terrifying.
Le Tuile.
New.
Andorra.
Fast.
Leger.
Home.
Lenzerheide.
Tedious.
Lake Placid.
They've never been. I don't know. Exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mount St Anne.
It's everything. Mount St Anne has everything. It's iconic.
Yeah.
That's a good selection of words.
It is a good selection of words. That sums up the season right there. All right. Let's rip some listener questions after the ad break.
All right, let's talk about something serious. Bike theft. It's brutal. You put time, money and love into your bike and then one day, gone. And here's the worst part. 60% of bike thefts happen at home. Now, I've been using HIPLOK since they first started the original HIPLOK chain lock back in 2011. It was the first ever wearable bike lock, and I've had mine for years, but HIPLOK hasn't stopped innovating. They've gone next level with the 1000 series, and honestly, this is a game changer. The D1000 is the world's first anti-angle grinder bike lock. Now, if you don't know, angle grinders are how most bikes get stolen these days, because they cut through normal locks like butter. But this, it literally stops them. It uses graphene composite technology, has a square profile to defeat bolt croppers, and even features anti-rotation double locking tabs, which means if a thief wants to cut through it, they'd have to do it twice. Good luck with that. And they don't just stop at locks. HIPLOK also made the AX1000 anchor, so now you can bolt your own bike down at home, stopping thieves again in their tracks. Whether you've got an e-bike, a motorbike, a jet ski, or a bike you'd die for, this is the setup you need. Serious security for serious riders. We have an exclusive offer just for the TRC family. We'd like to offer a free Jaw Plus compact bike rack and Z-Lock combo security tie with a 1000 series purchase. That's with the exception of the BR1000 bracket. All you got to do is use the discount code The Ride Companion in caps at hiplok.com/The Ride Companion. Don't wait until you're posting stolen. Keep an eye out on Instagram. Get protected with HIPLOK. Back to the show.
And we're in.
We're in. Have you got a question ready?
Yeah, I got my microphone as well ready.
Have you got a question ready? Yeah.
I can have, yeah. You ready?
Ready.
Okay.
Listen to questions.
Ben Cornelius, if you could only ride one more time, where would it be and who with?
Oh, that's a really good question.
I'll tell you, we have some great ones. We have some bad ones, but we have some really good ones as well.
I would probably... it depends. Like, I can never ride again after, we're saying.
Yeah, last ride. Death row meal. Death row bike ride.
Well, I'd probably go to Hardline,
Which one?
Wales,
Nice.
and just tick everything off. And I would like to think that Phoebe would like to join me, but probably not. I don't think many people would. I know, and I'd just enjoy it with people that are closest to me. My mates from home, Barrow, Chaos, Finn, Phoebe. Yeah.
Nice.
There's nothing...
Really good answer.
I just feel like if you were given one last chance, I've got to do the 90-footer. I
Is
just
that the
have
one
to
that you
do
got
it,
you-
yeah.
Yeah, eyes on.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's like not the answer I actually expected. Well, these like
Yeah.
questions are
Well,
so good sometimes.
it was like 50-50 between having a really good time with my mates on some like fun chill tracks.
Yeah.
Or...
or the gnarliest track in the world.
well, I feel like there's like time pressures. You've got to get it done.
Good answer.
You want to do 'em?
Yeah, I'll do one. Well, this one's from Wanda Louise. She says, massive respect for bringing badass female attitude.
It's nice.
That's nice, yeah.
Yeah.
And Kieran Wilson has asked, how's the dad versus team manager dynamic?
Now, not so bad. When I was like a teenager, it was really difficult. And he's done a podcast recently and he talks about it a bit because his relationship with Chaos, my brother, was like just, they were butting heads and arguing loads. It's really hard to differentiate there's a fine line between manager and dad. Mostly, when he's annoying me, I call him Tony now, and it really annoys him in the pits instead of dad.
Tony's the manager.
Yeah, Tony's the
Dad's the
manager.
dad.
But he's really good at what he does. But yeah, it used to be really hard. And, like at home, all the talk's always about biking. It's always about racing. There's not really an off switch for that, which is the most frustrating part. But having access to my dad at the races is like the best because I'm like a sensitive soul and I cry a lot. So yeah, it's handy.
From what you see online, he seems to do an amazing job. Of, you know, whether you're having a bad time or a good time, he seems to always say the right thing.
He just puts his all into it, and all the athletes, and yeah, he loves it. He's like tough love, but then also just like a huge teddy bear as well. It's
Nice. Good answer. Okay. Wanda Louise, do you think the downhill community is inclusive?
From my experience, yes.
Yeah.
I think you could get picky about it and find some things that aren't. And I guess there are a lot of women that feel like it's not, hence why I do what I do. But my experience, again, I've had like my dad the entire time, and like it's been like I've come into racing, and I guess I've like proved myself in inverted commas, so it's like easier to feel included and respected, which sometimes I do feel a little bit weird about. But I've also met some of the best people through what I do. Like my favorite people are mountain bikers, and it's like, well, because we share the same love for the same thing, but you're going to get dicks anywhere, aren't you?
Literally.
Yeah, so I'm sorry if that is the experience, and I hate that, but I try my very best to try and, bring a bit more, I don't know, all the pink stuff, all that stuff we were talking about, I feel like is me trying to make it more normal. Yeah.
Nice. Great answer.
I think you do a good job, and I think like just talking about things you're quite good at putting across. I think it's the cool thing actually about social media and stuff.
Yeah.
Like growing up, it was impossible to know that anyone was actually a normal person doing normal things.
Yeah.
Like you were saying, going through normal like struggles and stuff.
Yeah.
Whereas now you actually do know your favourite rider, don't you? You I think, through social media, or at least what they put out.
And it's like you say, what we're saying, when you see something, it's like it becomes more normal. I think before, when I was a teenager, sorry, I'm going off, not off topic, please. It is on topic, but I just refused to wear like any type of makeup or anything because I was worried that people would think I was trying too hard and I didn't need it to like play sports, or like and I wouldn't turn up in a nice outfit because it'd be like, oh, who are you trying to impress? You know, that sort of stuff was never fun. But I feel like now I love fashion and I love getting my nails done, I love all that, and I'm given the opportunity, mostly with Fox, to put whatever I want on these kits, and like it would be the worst if I just went with like dull black kits, because you get that everywhere. Yeah. So yeah, that's
freedom of expression, creativity, showing who you are. It's sick, dude.
Yeah, really, and I'd like to think that mountain biking is very inclusive of that, open to that. Yeah.
Sam Halawani MTB, what's your favourite thing to do outside of riding your bike?
I'm really into like crafts, like hobbies.
Really?
Yeah.
What, you crafty? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I try to be. But I like pick stuff up and like do it twice and then get rid of it. But it gets me into that flow state that mountain biking brings, minus the risk. So like,
what's the last thing you picked up and put down?
I was doing I'm doing something for Valentine's for Finn, and I've made this canvas, so I can't actually say what it is, but I'm very proud of it.
Are you really?
Yeah, I'm very proud of it. Wow. You'd probably look at it and think a 4-year-old's done it, but I'm very proud of it. So that was the last thing. Last night I finished it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. This is out after Valentine's, so it's fine.
Yeah, I'll put a picture of it after. And you'll all be like, lucky guy.
2-to-1 racing. Choose 3 teammates that haven't been in FMD.
Oh. Jackson Goldstone.
Nice.
I couldn't have Finn on the team because we're dating. I feel like I have to mention that. He'd be like, what if he listens? It's like, you wouldn't pick me. But I wouldn't be able to do the whole WORX crossover thing, no. So that's a no. Phoebe, who's not on the team. So Jackson Goldstone.
Also, what are the reasons? Obviously, if you want someone who's going to win hardline,
I think Jackson is the most marketable athlete there is and his like fan base and who he can cater to is just massive. So as a brand and as like, I think I'm thinking more as like a manager point of view, but he's fun to be around, but he was literally bred to do like what he does. Like he's a showman, he's obviously really quick, he's fast, he's got everything you need. He's born and bred for this, so that would be my reasoning for Jackson, and he's fun to be around. I would pick Vali Höll because the certainty of getting good results is second to none with her. And the third one, probably Asa.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be the world's best.
You think, yeah?
Yeah, full stop. Yeah.
Right there.
Well, it's just his riding is like...
Hey, there's going to be a point where him and Jackson are competing.
Yeah, I just think Asa is honestly, like, in his riding, there's like... It's so mature for how young he is, and there's not much to work on. Like, it's already, like, when you watch his riding style, and it's, to me, it's pretty incredible to see someone that young, that dialed.
Yeah.
If those are your picks, you're going to have to get a much bigger Red Bull fridge.
Oh, yeah, I just realised.
Sponsor's dream.
Yeah.
Yeah, well done.
Didn't mean to do that, obviously.
Leo Coyle-Smith has asked, can you ask Fox to sell your colourways in men's sizes too, please?
Yeah, we did the first launch as men's. Like, it was unisex on the first 2 launches. But I think with the whole, like, what we've been talking about, the women's thing, it was nice that the women had something for them for once and wasn't just trying to pick from what everyone else had. Or so I think with Fox, it just made sense for us to do, like, women's exclusive, as much as I would love to have unisex or even do a different colorway or slightly different and, like, have the two. It's I guess it's a women's range by a woman, so like yeah,
Nice.
maybe in future I think I'd love to do
blue
more. Made me so angry. Me sulking the entire drive home from that comment. Actually, my Wilds one was really nice, and that was blue.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, but let's be honest, I'm not gonna. It has to be pink now. People would be so disappointed if it wasn't. I was gonna do like green or blues for this year because I've got some real nice like color palettes that I had in mind, and it went on for ages. We did so many mock-ups, like so many more than usual, and in the end, I was just like, I think we have to go back to pink. Let's screw the blue, and as soon as the pink was put back on the board, I was like,
I think it's good. I really like. I noticed like Ronan at Hardline in the same blue, and you can just like instantly spot. It's like the Hans Ray effect.
Yeah,
like, you instantly spot. 100%. You know who it is.
Carmichael in orange.
Yeah.
It's kind of.
It's good marketing technique.
It is.
Indeed.
It is. People become synonymous. All right, 2-1 racing again. Dream job if you wasn't racing.
I guess like a professional athlete in general. I'd love to be.
Oh, nice.
What's in second place sport wise?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not very good at anything. No, I think I was good at like track and field stuff. So, and I'm like really poppy. So I reckon I'd be pretty good at like long jump or something like that.
Can you ski?
Snowboard.
Okay. Surf?
But it's kind of scary. I'd go for one that's like slightly less scary, I think. Big wave surfing, I think, would be an insane feeling. Like a crate. So if I could like be reborn as like a 29-year-old pro at something, it would be that. But not go through all the like learning curves. Just like dropped on the big wave.
I hear you. I'd love to be able to surf, but I'm absolutely, completely unwilling to splash around with snot bubbles coming out my nose on a big foam board, not looking cool. Yeah, I'm not up
I
for it.
picked it up last year for the fell, the year before, because Phoebe does it, so she got me into it. And I'm petrified of open water, like actually terrified. I'm not a good swimmer. I hate anything that's in the water, especially when I can't see it. Something touches me, I freak out, and like I have to get out of the water. But I've slowly got better at it. And well, no, I've got better at the water. I've not got better at surfing, but when I get up for like a split second, it feels unreal. So I can't imagine what it's like going down 100-foot waves.
They're moving so fast, aren't they?
See them and it's like,
I'm with you. The closest thing to like almost an irrational, it's not irrational, but a proper fear.
I just don't understand. I can't, my brain can't comprehend how they do it. Like, it's impossible to me. And like when they surf in reefs and stuff, like shallow reef water.
So shallow as well, to the point where
what? Like, what do? You're obviously going to have to get off the board at some point.
Yeah.
Even if you don't crash.
Yeah, the whole thing's gnarly.
I've been surfing twice, and they're probably the highlight reel of my most loserish looks I've ever had.
Dude, I had to wear a helmet.
Yeah, when you go to the wave thing. So that was my first experience.
This isn't what I imagined this would be. Massive foam board, oversized wetsuit, and a helmet. Like,
but so much fun.
Yeah, felt fast in the wetsuit though. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there you go, Speedsuit.
You got a Speedsuit. I was like, this is pretty good. All right. We could end with one more if you want. Let's end with one more.
I closed my phone, I'm afraid. Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay.
Done.
All right.
Can't open it again.
Can't remember the password.
Sorry. Okay, last one. Josh Pinchman. What are you most excited about for 2025? That's a lovely ending, Josh. Thank you.
Just to get racing again with the new brand. I think it's really exciting. It's been really scary, unknown, so excited to kind of put it all to the test and turn up with a bit of a bang at the first World Cup, I think. It's always fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sick. Hyped. Can't wait.
Rooting for you. Tahnée Seagrave, many thanks.
Yay, thank you.
Go on, sign us out.
Do I clap myself or is that weird?
Do a couple of claps.
Hey.
Thanks for listening. Peace and love.
Like, subscribe. Mate, what an episode.
Brilliant. I thought you were really great, Davey.
Mate, and I thought you were even better.
Thanks, dude.
Better than normal.
Oh, cheers.
Hey, how about we tell our lovely podcast community to hit subscribe here.
Yeah.
Click on the video on Ollie's face.
That's right.
Click on the video on my face.
Yeah.
And follow us at The Ride Companion on Instagram.
They can like and comment as well.
Please do.
I'm going to try and get this energy and I'm going to bring it into next week.
Let's fast forward to next week's episode.
Done.